We are we're going to try to do something fun and quick. I don't usually do quick. I try to do fun, but I had my daughter in the shop, and she was, smelling and trying to determine what kinds of woods I had in here. So I've got some maple, some cherry, some willow, some oak, and some other stuff too. But she smelled the cherry and really liked it, and so she asked me to make her something out of cherry. And so I'm going to try to bang out a quick little project. It's not going to be super um, fine woodworking or anything like that, but just trying to make something out of cherry real quick. So come along on a journey, and we'll see how it turns out. Hopefully, not too terrible. But jump in the chat. Tell me where you're watching from and what time it is there. Right here, it's I'm in Idaho in the United States, and it is about 2 in the morning, and so hopefully I don't wake too many people up with how loud I'm going to be. But we'll see. If I get too many people mad at me, I might end a little early, but we'll see how far we get. All right. I will try to follow in the chat. I usually have my laptop with me to follow along, but not today. So I'm just going to be using the phone here. Hey, Mike and Ruiz. Good to see you guys. Night Owl. Yeah. Yeah. You know what I was thinking the other day? Has anyone ever heard of a day owl? Like, why do we always call it night owl? Isn't it just owl? Anyway, all right, so I'm going to get started here with some hearing and vision protection. Let's go. So this is some cherry wood that I'm going to start with this other side. So I've got a little bit better surface over here with for my stop block. A little bit more reliable than whatever that is. So I like to have the blade up so that my carbide teeth are just barely above the height of my workpiece. All right, here we go. And then I've got a little bit here that's not actual wood that I'm just going to try to shave off. Doesn't look like I got the straightest of cuts there, so I'm going to go over those again real quick. Just make sure that I've got That's better. That's better. All right, so I'm just going to shave off about that much. A tiny little sliver left of that. There we have it. So I am going to resaw this guy on the bandsaw. This is probably close to 3/4 inches thick. Let's see. The 0.79 inches. So I was thinking if I want to try and do the whole thing out of this piece, maybe I would cut it in thirds. So I'd have a little less than 1/4 inch for each face. And then I'd have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So if I cut this in half, cut this in thirds, then I'd have 6 pieces that I could put together in a cube. So let's see if it'll work. Let's see. I should do some measurements, but I don't want to. I don't know that I'm really going to be able to get much of a. Actually, you know what I should do is come at it from this angle. All right. And, oh, like, what am I looking for? Sure, I can find it if I look hard enough. Just need to think about what it is that I'm looking for. Needed some clips. All right. So I'm thinking that will get me about 1/3 of it there, and then I'll just run another pass without having to adjust the fence. So I'm going to want a push stick of some kind here. That could work, maybe. I'll grab. I'll grab some of the cherry offcut from when I first milled up this cherry wood. There we go. That should be close to 1/3. Am I taking too much? We'll find out. The bandsaw tends to work better when I plug it in first. if I do it right, it should be about in half, and it's not. All right, so this guy is thicker than that, and not a great cut, really. So, a little disappointed in that. But let me see if the chat is as disappointed as I am here. I don't know who. Yeah. Did you get it? Did it get lit for new? Did you get it for new? I'm not sure what you mean. Your plate early? Always. Always. Did for sure. Okay. All right. So I could run these through the planer, but I don't want to spend that much time on it. So I think instead I'm just going to sand and these are too small to really run through the planer anyway. So there's some planer shavings. And let me grab a little mat here to, these pieces are pretty small. So don't tell my wife I'm using her yoga mat for this. As if she really even uses it for yoga anyway. All right. Grab some 80 grit. Man, I'm in a bit of a hurry because we've got a plane to catch in a couple hours. So I was hoping to knock this project out before I have to board the plane. right. Yeah, it's still pretty wildly different size there. Not particularly consistent. I think I need to probably not worry about trying to make this project happen in such a short time frame. That's what makes it fun, right? Let's see. Asking if you ring in the new year with a bang. Alcohol, I think. Yeah, no, I don't think so. No alcohol for our celebration, but yeah, I guess it was with a bang, but just no bubbly. All right, I'm going to try smoothing this out a little bit more. Um, hmm. This is feeling foolhardy. I do really like this grain though, with the coloration. Get the vacuum on. Yeah, I mean, I've got such a huge variation on, the thickness. It's much thicker up here than it is down here. And this guy is a lot thicker than this guy, especially when we compare up here to there and down here to here. But I didn't do a great job of resawing. Um, I was planning to just do like some butt joints on these guys to slap it together. Just make it a quick project. And these two sides are, I planed these way back when. This, it's got a somewhat sizable crack in there that I should probably fill with some glue. But yeah, I mean, look at the gaps when I just put them together. If I plop it there. Yeah, I mean, that's not going to form a tight box at all. Let's see. Should I make her something different with these? Hey, Overrose. Thanks for being here. Should have caught Mim's stream. Oh, is that tonight? or last night, or I guess it's all relative, right? Planing it fixes it. Yeah, but I can't really run these through the planer. I think they're too short. So I can try using a plane on it, but I don't really have a setup here to be able to secure this while I'm working it with the plane. So, let me think. There's something other than a box that I could do with this stuff. I mean, I could join it. This is basically butterflying it, right? Because it was like that. And so if I open it up like that, and then could do something similar over here, right? Because I think this was like that. So I butterfly that out like that. I could glue that there and glue this there, I think. And then I could plane that down, but I mean, it's already so thin that I don't know that that's worth trying anything. What do you guys think? Any projects coming to mind that I could work this with? Night shop is way more organized than mine. That may be true, but part of the reason for that is that I did a fair amount of organizing. I'm going to take these off because I feel like I'm talking underwater with those on. I did a fair amount of organizing last night, and so not on live. I had a bunch of maple in the kiln, and I had a bunch of other maple that was on the floor right here, waiting to go in the kiln. So the maple that was here is now in the kiln. The maple that was in the kiln is now stacked right here. The cherry that was stacked right here is now stacked over here. The oak, whoa, that was stacked in the corner over here. And this was somewhat precarious. This is the oak that I salvaged from hardwood floorboards. So it was leaning on the workbench and everything here. And so I was a little concerned that it was going to start getting warped and bowed and all that sort of thing. So that oak is now sitting up there where a bunch of the redwood that I salvaged from deck boards used to be. So I just stacked the redwood taller and made room for the oak floorboards there. And so then after all that, I swept up in here and tried to get things a little bit more feeling like it's ready for projects. What I haven't tackled yet is all the crap in the corner over there. So a lot of that is my latest Harbor Freight editions, some of the Christmas gifts that I need to kind of open up and figure out where they belong. So that's a big part of why it seems more organized now than what it has for the last few months. But and I was going to mention the willow that used to be stacked on the lathe over here is it's still stacked on the lathe. And then I've got a bunch of just weird cuts that are in my kind of plywood storage cart. And then on the other side of my plywood storage cart is, a bunch of plywood. So anyway, that's kind of the organization of the shop for now. But yeah, this used to be a huge mess. Let's see. Ava, I'm kind of just a creature that shows up in people's live streams now. Hey, great, Ava. Appreciate having you in here. So many colors of stuffs in your shop. Yeah, what? The merchandise. Yeah, yeah. I figure might as well make different colors available, right? Because I definitely have a preference, right? I'm I'm really into blue, but I know not everybody is. So there's definitely a healthy selection of blue stuff in there. But I figured I might as well have some other colors just in case not everyone's thing is blue. And let's see, Mike, you don't have any lives, but lots of shorts. Yeah, I have a fair number of shorts as well. And some of them I wear for basketball. Some of them, I'll just wear more casually. Some of them I'll wear like mowing the lawn. So, shorts are great. I love them. Sometimes I'll wear shorts shoveling snow. My wife tends to laugh at me when I do that because I'll have a heavy winter coat on and then shorts. So, whatever. But you may be talking about a different kind of shorts. All that's coming in mind is wooden horse, but that's just my sleep-deprived thoughts thinking of random stuff. How much longer is this stream going to run for? I didn't get a notice, but I was doom scrolling and I caught it. I don't know. I was thinking to go for about an hour. Is trying to just make a box, but with my thicknesses being so off, I'm kind of debating whether I should even try to pursue that or think of a way to get these so that they're more uniform in width. To safely get these to being more uniform in width. I'm worried that if I try putting them through the planer, it'll cause greater problems. And plus this cherry is somewhat prone to chipping out in the planer or the jointer. So, and with as thin as it is already, it can't really handle getting chipped out. So, yeah, so just trying to think of what I should do with it. But it's 3 a.m. No, it's not. not in the mountain time zone. Let's see. Are they made to order? I'm not sure. Hoot Owl. I think you meant YouTube Shorts. Yeah, I know, Ava. I have a fair number of YouTube Shorts as well, but pretty much all of my YouTube Shorts are clips from my live streams or my long form videos. I'll just use the YouTube app on my mobile device on my phone because it'll allow me to take little 15-second clips, and sometimes I'll do a little voiceover, sometimes I'll add some text or whatever, and they're relatively simple to do, and sometimes there's a big bang for the buck, and sometimes they're kind of boring. Kind of like me. But anyway, so that's how I've been able to punch out a fair number of shorts from other content. So I'm not really doing a lot of other editing work for my shorts, and I don't do really any editing for the live streams because I don't have to, because they're so easy. That's one of the things I really like about the live streaming is no editing after the fact. So, but one of the things I have done lately is instead of doing my vertical view live like this, I've done a lot more horizontal view. And part of the reasoning for that is to be able to repurpose that footage for long form videos later. I'm not sure why, because it seems that nobody actually watches those. So I might not worry as much about creating the long form videos going forward, but we'll see. But basically, I had a little bit of time to kill on. I'm going to the airport here in a little while, so I had about an hour before I needed to probably start getting ready to go. So I figured, hey, why not try punching out some sort of project in here? But as I think about this, I'm like, do I really want to punch this out really quickly and have kind of a lackluster result for my daughter? Not really. I'd rather have something that she looks at fondly rather than with derision. So maybe I should think of a different project to do with this wood and or for her. Let's see. Make jewelry. Oh yeah, I could do a little West Does It magic. Try some sort of jewelry out of it. Yeah, that's an interesting idea. Let me think of how. I was thinking more like a jewelry box, but yeah, making some jewelry. Mike is also at 2:30, same time for you. Sweet. 4 a.m. for Ava Rose. You insomnia randomly, you can't sleep because unresolved. Like, oh no, leg pain. I'm so sorry, Ava. That sucks. You're on late. 4:27 for Tim. You don't seem bored at all. I don't seem bored. You can. Someone who gets yelled at for stealing stuff. Joke, be boring. Yeah. Okay, you're referencing Dad's workshop there. took me a second. Sometimes I'm a little slow on the uptake, if you know what I mean. But yeah, Dad's workshop has fun with my lack of presence in the shop, but still somehow hiding all of his tools and everything. So yeah, if he needs someone to blame, I'm good for something, right? So let's see. If wood burn, it would be good for that. Yeah, better work for daughter. If you wood burn. Ricardus is who I follow. Okay, and Ricardus is he doing the jewelry, or is that something else? See. Yeah. Make some angel earrings for your wife. Ooh, angel earrings. See, the big problem I have with that is I'm not very artistic. So I was about to say if it's something that I can just cut on the bandsaw, then like, oh, this is relatively easy. But I just demonstrated that I can't really even do that. So what can I do really? So sad. Pathetic. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So Ricardus does the wooden jewelry. Yeah. I don't know that my wife would want angel earrings really. Now that I'm thinking about it, she's somewhat particular. She doesn't usually like big, kind of unique type jewelry stuff. But I haven't ever tried giving her any wooden jewelry at all. So maybe that's something that would interest her. But my guess is probably not so much. But you never know. You never know. So let's think here. What could it be? I guess it could just be, I could make like 3 different either carvings or designs. Just have, so I've got I've got this rotary toolkit that I've had for a while. I've only tried it a couple of times, and I wasn't really impressed with. Um, like it seemed like it would take a long time to get anything done. It wasn't removing very much material, and I was like, oh, it's going to take forever. I'm just not that patient with this kind of stuff. So guess what was on sale at the Harbor Freight? They had, there it is. They had this guy on sale, which might actually be less powerful, but more expensive. But one of the things that I liked about it is that it claims that it is a quiet motor. So it might be a lot less noisy than the Warrior version. And if everything else is the same, but it's a lot quieter, then I would say it's worth it. Yeah. So maybe I just do some Dremel-like work on it, some rotary tool work, and make some sort of design. But again, there comes the big problem of just not being very artistic. So like I could make some sort of design, the main problem being that anyone who sees that design probably have no idea what it was that I was trying to make. So I'm not sure that that's a great idea either. Shrink down the ones you carve. Okay. Davis had the leg pain. That was like 4. Trying not to overshare. I tend to avoid yapping about personal stuff unless I'm tired. Yeah. Any cheap tools I would recommend? Yeah. Basically, all of the tools in my shop are cheap, and stretch myself. Yeah. I definitely would need to do that a little bit more than sometimes I do. A lot of times, especially on the live streams, I'm like, okay, let me do something that I pretty much know how to do so I don't look completely foolish on the live, like now. But yeah, not just in the lives, but in life in general, it's good to stretch yourself and learn where are my limits, and then how can I move beyond those limits. So good idea, Mike. Let's see. Quiet for streams. If it works, the same would be better. Right. Exactly. And I'm less. It's less that I'm thinking about the live streaming, being quiet for the live streaming, and more about being quiet for my wife and kids who are trying to sleep right now. But little bandsaw, little table saw, it's not going to hurt them, right? So usually, if I just have it running for very short periods of time, they don't even notice, don't even wake up. But sometimes I do wake them up, and I get angry calls, and I have to end my lives somewhat prematurely. But shame on me. Okay. Trace a design. That's true. I could trace a design, and then try to. But see, the issue there is, like, I've watched some of these other carvers and artists, and when it comes to the Dremel, like Amy Jo and Rhinestone Suzanne, they do some really cool work, and I don't. But it'd be nice to be able to add that to the repertoire, as Mike is intimating that I should. So let's break this out. Let's see if we can figure out. I might need to actually get some scissors out here. This one looks like it might allow me to open it up without scissors. Yay, there we go. right, let's just test the loudness first. So just show you. I'm plugging it out. This is a tree that my wife made for me a long time ago, and she thought it might be nice in the shop. It's decorated with footballs, and I think basketball in here somewhere too. Maybe just footballs, and a Y for my favorite college team, BYU, and of course BYU colors, blue and white. So let's see how loud this guy is. Well, on 1, that's not loud at all. That's 2, 3, 4, 5, and 5 is the highest. Yeah, that's way quieter than the Warrior. Let's see here. Let me see if I can take out. Now, the noise cancellation on my microphone might not be giving you the same effect that I'm getting, but let me see if I can open this up without ripping the box here. Oh, come on. There we go. And I think this has just, this is just a single speed. That's quieter than I remembered it being. Let's try this again on top speed. It's a different tone. This one's a little bit higher pitched than that, but they're probably similar in when they're on high. Well, I mean, this one's always on high. But yeah, a little bit different tone. So let's see. That's what sets us apart from all the experts who say only one way to do something. Yeah. I just recently started tanning hides. Yeah. I've been watching his lives. A little wild, all the furs and the scudding he's doing and all the fun stuff. Stream doesn't even pick up 1 and 2. The rest only gets picked up when you speak. Okay. You remember me and my computer repair teacher I had in 12th grade. He was my favorite teacher. Yep. Yeah, and I've seen you on Calvin's lives, and I've seen you on for Dad's workshop, and I've seen you on others too. It seems lately you've been, like you said, kind of hanging out, so which is great. Appreciate it. Appreciate you being here. So, what do you think? What if I just freehand something? Freehand some kind of design. All right. What do you guys think? What should I carve in one of them? I am kind of idealist at the moment, so you tell me something. I will showcase my inadequacies as an artist, and both with graphite and with rotary tool. So what do you think? What should I make with one of these things? Encourage all of us that it is in our circle. Go ahead and try stuff. Edison didn't fail 10,000 times to make incandescent light bulbs. He succeeded once. Yeah, good point. But he also employed a lot of people to fail all those times for him. So I don't want to employ a bunch of people for that. So what do you guys think? What should I draw? I think I'll do it on this one, because then maybe I can save these with the cool looking grain for something else once I get better at it. So, what do you think? What should I draw? Flower? Okay. I don't exactly know what your daughter likes, so hard to think of stuff. Yeah. Well, let's just start. As easy as we can here. This is probably way more petals than they're supposed to have. Okay. And then we've got some kind of leaves on here, right? That's terrible, but someone might understand that to be. Okay. What do you think? All right. So let's see what this can do. And will someone let me know when it's when we're at the hour? All right. So, ooh, we've got carving, sanding, engraving, and polishing. Ooh. So, all right. I'm not sure what to use here. I think I'll go with I'll go with this guy. And let's see, does this just, how does this work? So that rotates. I feel like there's a, oh, there's a lock there. So how does this lock in there? If I hit the lock, it stops moving. Oh, maybe I unscrew this. There we go. And then screw that down. All right, that seems to work. All right. Take off the twisty tie. Okay, you got church tomorrow? Gotta sleep. Let's see. Hydrangea, is that what it is? See more viewers, good to see. Yeah, yeah. Thanks for coming in, everybody. Scrap piece. I mean, yeah, this basically is my scrap piece. Yeah, it had a wrench in the box. Good night, Mike. Have fun at church. Hey, Bushcrafter, thanks for being here. All right. So let me get you focused in a lot closer here. Actually, I'm going to bring it, I think, over here a little more so that kind of where these other pieces are. So if something like that will work. Just move those over there. This over here. Yeah. Let's see. Have that same little Dremel, the Bower. Yeah, what about this guy? Do you have the Warrior too? All right, so I'm not sure how necessary it is, but I'm gonna put on some eye and ear protection just in case. And then what time is it, everybody, right now? Just so I have an idea of how much time I need to, or how much time I have before I need to close things up and get ready for my flight. All right, whoa, 4:49, okay. So yeah, like 10 minutes probably I need to call it good. So I'm not sure how far I'll really get. But I'm gonna start on the lowest setting here and just see what that does with that attachment, whatever that's called. So we're learning something new today, right? All right, actually, you know what? I'm gonna move this down a little bit and reposition the tripod so that it's hopefully a little bit more here. All right, let's try that. Oh, you know, I'm going to take this ear protection off because I couldn't even hear that it was on. All right. I'm going to pump that up a bit. Let's go to 3. Yeah, I don't really know that that's doing hardly anything. Let's see what other attachments might be better for anything. What do you guys think? Yeah, I've got a bunch of sanding attachments. Got these wire brush things that I could try. Yeah, I think the wrench is in there because it looks like there's a different size of collet. So I think that's why it's in there, to be able to remove the collet entirely, maybe. So let's see what it looks like when I use one of these guys. All right, so I'll unplug it while I'm removing that. Okay, let's see. How much was it? This one was on special for $20. So I think that was about half off. A lot more than I was really wanting to pay, but I figured I can test it out, and if it sucks, I can return it. So, um, yeah, 11 minutes. Yep. Huge Dremel, actual drill Dremels. Dies in like 2 minutes. Sketch came up great. No, oh, thanks, Ava. Appreciate that. You cuts all carving tips. Might not be the best bit for it. The ball one is your favorite. Okay. Um, what kind of PPE do I use? So right now I'm just wearing some goggles. I did have some ear protection on, but I couldn't even hear that the machine was on. So this is my first time using this tool. Um, and so yeah, I wasn't really thinking about the dust getting in the air. But I'm not really going to be using it long enough to worry too much about it, I don't think. But yeah, if I'm using it a lot in the future, probably I will think about some breathing protection. But yeah, right now I just have some eye protection on. One Dremel, basically lives in the Dremel drill press. Use it to drill a lot of holes. Oh, interesting. Okay. Like the ball one would be best for doing line work, but it can absolutely dig into the wood quickly. Okay. All right. Let me get that little ball one. Just seemed like such a small ball that like how long will it take to actually get stuff done with that? But all right. So let me loosen that, remove that in, tighten that down. All right. And I'll plug it back in and we'll see how that does. What do you think? Be honest. Let's see. Going back in chat here a little bit. Need to buy masks next time. It's rough with lower quality wood. Yeah, understandable. And hate wearing them. Definitely tell the difference. With asthma, it gets yeah. I've been told that I'm like borderline asthmatic, so I probably should worry more about it than I do. Big rotary bit kit at Hartford, bought a few of the years. Yeah, that's what. So this is the Bauer one that I'm using right now, and then I also have the Warrior one, both from Harbor Freight. I tried using this a while ago and was really disappointed in like how little it was taken off, but I was probably using the wrong bit, and it was so loud. So, so let's see. Don't do wood, but do dolls that are made of plastic. Oh yeah, I can understand why you wouldn't want to be breathing that in. One of the worst materials used is cutting antler bandsaws. Okay, plastic is definitely toxic. Yeah. Wood vents seem awesome, but expensive. Yeah, I'll bet. Looks great. That's probably excessive, but for my first use of this Bauer rotary tool, I'm not too disappointed, especially considering my lack of artistic ability. Whoa! Trying to keep it stable, but no, that didn't have quite the effect I was hoping, but whatever. They built a waterfall dust extractor mainly for airbrushing, works for other things. Cool. Really hard for me to get lines that aren't jagged in wood. Yeah. It's 5, also looks great. Oh, thanks. At 5, it was 5 for me. Okay. Yeah, the Warrior kit that came with here it is. It's like 80 pieces. I think I paid like $6 for that a few months ago. And then this Bauer kit was, I think it's regularly $40 and I paid 20 today or yesterday, I guess, technically. Is that what you were talking about, Ava? That was 5? Do something to make the design stand out a little, like paint or anything that adds color. Yeah, I had an idea for that. Once I get through the chat here, I'll move on to that next idea for how to make it stand out. Keep in mind that's the specific that you're using, and then we'll go to good to know. I ever use wood burning tools. I do have some wood burning tool that I also got at Harbor Freight a while back. I tried using it and wasn't that impressed with it. My wife just got me this the other day. I'm not sure. Let's see, what is it? For Christmas. Um, electric engraving something or other. Something or other. So I'll open this one of these days. I was going to see if it's how different it is from what I already have before I open it up, but we'll see. Okay. Can't spell things correctly today. Yeah. Join the club. Has a bit said about 250. Oh, okay. Cool. 5 is in, 5 o'clock. Gotcha. Oh, it's been 11 minutes. Gotcha. Okay. Well, let me just do one little step here to try and make that contrast a bit more. But I have to get the yoga mat out of the way, or else my wife will really be unhappy with me. All right, there we go. And I have to come over here to the garage part of the edifice. And whoa, drop things on the floor. And I hope we don't run over that with the van later. We'll have to touch that before we drive away. So, thank you for, yeah, it's a yoga mat. I was just using it as, to support the pieces so they didn't slide around so much. But yeah, don't tell my wife about that. She doesn't like it when I use it for wood projects. But it's not like she's really using it anyway. So my idea for adding some contrast is, of course, fire. What do you think? Torch paste, chemical wood being. Oh, okay. I haven't tried any of that before. And so just try to cool it off a little bit, and then let's do some lacquer on that. If I can open up the bottle of lacquer. Not, maybe it's, oh, there we go. That's probably enough. Maybe it wasn't enough. Yeah, I definitely needed to shake that up more. It is not spraying cleanly. More? You want more burning? Went from fire to calmly asking, what do you think? Well, yeah, of course. Oh, okay. Yeah, that's all over the place. Let me get something to smooth that out. I am not pleased with how that's spraying at all. Yeah. All right. Okay. Well, here it is. So hopefully she likes that. She'll probably like it better than she would have a box, if I'm being honest with myself. Um, looks great. When I care what happens to it. It's not a desk, it's a workbench. So, yeah, I mean, this, the plywood top was here. I repurposed it from an earlier workbench that I had, kind of in the corner of the shop here. So it was kind of an L shape there. So tore that out and rebuilt this. It's just a lot sturdier because it used to be just the plywood supported by some 2x4s, so nothing else. So now I've got these basically 2x3s as the horizontal supports for the plywood, and then I've got a 2x4 here in the middle, but then I've got 2x6s on either end, and then it's also secured to the wall. But yeah, I'm not too worried about the plywood here. I'll just sand it, and it'll be fine. So, yeah, I might as well get a brush. I was thinking to actually go get a brush, but then I didn't. So, it has to be covered in wax paper. Yeah, yeah, not on this workbench. That's for sure. It was pretty beat up before I ever got here. I sanded it down so that it was a lot smoother than it had been before, but even then, it was pretty rough. I've actually got some melamine that I was gifted to me by I think my brother that I'm thinking to put over the top of this, but I kind of like being able to just sand things down and whatever. Try dry brushing if you're familiar with the technique. I'm somewhat aware of it, but I haven't ever tried it. I don't think. Do brush rollers and airbrushing, rarely spray. Yeah, makes sense. Benches are built about the same, around 3/4 of my shop. Awesome. Well, hey, thanks everybody for being here. Hope you enjoy this very brief little um, attempted box, but ended up being flower made by the rotary tool, and enjoy. So I think I better run and go and get ready for everything. Get ready for my flight, and we'll see you all next time. So go ahead and like, subscribe, all the stuff. I think there's some merchandise there if you're really itching for some Pilato creation stuff. And hey, thanks for being here, everybody. Take care.